Hi, Garden Rebels. I've got a passenger along for the ride. My apologies. He's gonna hang in there no matter what, no matter what kind of route we're going to take. He's determined. Hey, we're in the middle to end of March, and things are starting to heat up, even our temperatures. Is it coat, no coat, hat, no hat? I'm not sure. But what I wanted to do was make sure no matter how busy you are, no matter how many things you've got going on, that you see the plants for the month of March for your garden. Let's go over the top 5 choices for plants in the month of March. All those details coming up. I am not a cat person. This one though has been quite fascinating. Can you sit here? Can you sit in a different position? Because I gotta talk with my hands. I talk with my hands, excuse me. I'm gonna sit on my leg. I'm gonna sit on my leg. I'm gonna talk with my hands. Got one hand free. Another hand, come on, you can do it. Another hand, yeah. Whew. I figured out the problem with the month of March is that it comes with all kinds of weather. And those nice days that we get, those glorious, beautiful, just absolutely spectacular days, can get lost in the rush of the ups and downs. And I know we get that garden fever right when that weather comes in. So while you are so busy, I want to make sure you don't miss out on March, because there are some fantastic plants in this month. Well, I'd be remiss if I don't mention this one. And this one is the fragrance of spring. It's a Daphne Adora Areomarginata. It has these little wonderful fragrant, super fragrant blooms that will knock your socks off. And it does go right down your nervous system. It just clicks all the right buttons and gets you in that spring light-stepped walking mode. Now that one loves to sit in the afternoon shade, so just remember that. Morning sun, afternoon shade is picture perfect for that. Also does well in containers too. Now for you Daphne lovers, I know you're looking for that eternal fragrance. This is eternal fragrance, and yes, we have some in right now. All the Daphnes, all the fragrant plants tend to zip out very quickly. So if you see this on the online store, click to buy very quickly. If you see it at the store, grab them while you can. Eternal fragrance isn't as fragrant as the Areomarginata, but one thing it does have going for it is that it has a longer bloom time. So just gives you that nice whiff of fragrance for a much longer time. And this can handle a lot more sun as well. Last on that fragrance list is the Sarcocoa. This is Sarcocoa humilis, so it stays a little more compact, a little more low, and the same conditions as that Daphne Adora Areomarginata, which likes morning sun, afternoon shade. And now this has tiny blooms, but all of those multiply, give you that fragrance. I can smell it right now. It's gorgeous. It's uplifting. It makes you stand taller. Your shoulders back, your head up. It does all of those. Now, Also really important for the month of March. It goes into March, April, May, but March is the first chance to get them, and they go fast as well. And it's mostly the entire family of Hebes. Now, Hebes are wonderful landscape shrubs, but also wonderful in containers, and we've even snuck those into hanging baskets because they stay very compact, very mounding, and you can trim them to your heart's delight, so you can keep them small if you like. And the neat and very interesting thing about Hebes is that the cousins of all, the brothers and sisters of all the Hebes are so very different. Take a look at this guy. This is Hebe Anomala Purpurea Nana, so it stays a little bit small, and then it also has just that hint of burgundy, or purple you might say, that keeps it very interesting. Now going to another extreme, take a look at this guy. This is Hebe buxifolia. It's a box leaf Hebe, very different than Anomala, but also really compact. I like this one because it has that little bit of touch of spring green that makes your containers really stand out nicely. And again, it's rounding and mounding, very compact. Bouncing to the other corner, take a look at this guy. This is a Hebe hybrid, and it's called Silver Dollar. Has that little touch of yellow, but then a little bit of touch of that almost violet pink. Makes it really stand out. I mean, you can walk by the table and you just want to pick it up, go, whoa, what is this one? And I love those intricate leaves on that. Here, another cousin. This is also a Hebe. Has that spring green coloring, almost like a heather. It's called Caro Golden-esque. Just nice, strange, beautiful, unusual, unique. And you know when you put your container together, your hanging basket, and you've got that one spot and you want it to make it really stand out, make it contrast out the other plants you have in your container. Well, here is a solution for that last piece of the puzzle that will really bring your container together. Take a look at this guy. Again, that spring green on there, almost like a, I don't know what you're gonna say, Irish green, just spring green. The neat thing about this one is, take a look. This is really compact, just nice and well behaved. This is Hebe Emerald Gem. If you like your plants to be well behaved in your container, then this might be a plant for you. Now, I know I've gone over 5 plants already, but I kind of grouped them as a fragrance, then the Hebes to make sure you get some of those on your list. Other unusual, singularly unusual, neat, cool plants is this one. Take a look. Now, I've mentioned this one before, but I want to mention it in this month is because we have them. And it's another one of those plants that once they arrive, they get swiped away, even by people who don't realize how cool and unusual this one is. It just catches their eye and says, something about this plant really stands out. And it's those red stems that are really neat. This is Drymis lanceolata. It's a fairly newish introduction. It's also called mountain pepper because, get this, now it will bloom a small white bloom that's just lightly fragrant as well. Those little white blooms, like here is a bud coming in right there. Those light blooms turn into a little pepper berry. And yes, you can use those little pepper berries and you can use the little leaves in cooking too. Lastly, I've got to mention, I have to mention all the euphorbias coming in. Some of them are really dark burgundy, just striking, bold and beautiful. Some of them are very colorful and intricate. I would highly recommend euphorbias, especially if you have that sunny area that you have maybe a little bit tougher time watering. These can handle a little bit more drought conditions. Of course, the better you spoil it, the better it looks. I always think the euphorbias are neat and unusual because that bloom is like out of this world. But just ignore the bloom. Just take a look at this gorgeous foliage. Has a little bit of that red, a little bit of that yellow, mix in a little bit of red and yellow bloom color, a little bit of trailing, and you've got something really to be proud of. Oh, by the way, this is Euphorbia Ascot Rainbow. Sorry guys, I had to be very quick and fast on those plants. I've got people rolling in and I've got animals waiting on me as well. Mocha's over there. Salem's over there. I don't want you to miss out on those plants. You know you've got that feeling of spring in your bones. Guys, that is the tips and tricks for this week. Always live your passion. Hat, no hat.